Just to clarify, am I audible in the back? Am I audible now? No? Un- What about now? Please? All right. So my apologies for starting the meeting a little late due to some logistic issues. But welcome everybody to meeting number 259, themed Yin Yang, the mind spaces of light and shadow. Now, I'm not much for philosophies, but the only thing I read this article long back about yin and yang told me that yin and yang is a spear, as we've seen, right? It's about a part of this and the other side, and a part of this and the opposite side of it, right? So, from what I've read, I've understood that yin and yang basically means two opposites or two extremes coming together to complete. It's about two opposites or extremes coming together to bring one sort of fulfillment, for that sort of completeness. And I think life is all about that, a mixture of perfections and imperfections coming together to make something beautiful like life, right? Now, keeping that in mind, and maybe because I really don't have much idea about what this theme is, I'm sure our TMoD today, Toastmaster Aaryan, will give us more details into that. But before we begin and go ahead with today's meeting, we in Toastmasters follow three golden rules in all of our meetings. So, rule number one is that we always keep our noise making devices, such as our phones, on silent. Please take 5 seconds to do that. Five, four, three, two, and one. Golden rule number two is that when a speaker is on the stage, we do not walk around in the meeting hall. And in case you want to exit the meeting hall, just do so when an applause is going on so as to not disturb the speaker on the stage. Got it? Rule number three, and honestly, one of the most important rules, is that Toastmasters provides us an opportunity and a space to express ourselves to the fullest. But when it comes to certain sensitive topics or controversial topics like sex, religion, caste, we do not stop you from talking about it, but you have to put your views in such a way that it does not offend the listeners. Those are the three golden rules that we follow in our meetings. Now, I would like to hand over the stage to the presiding officer of the day, Toastmaster Sanadya. No, sorry, Toastmaster Shivansh, my bad.
Just checking again. Yeah, I'm audible to everyone. So, good evening, everyone, and sorry for the delay in the meeting. So, I'll be the presiding officer for the day. So, before we start, the motto of the club here, Toastmasters Amrita Bangalore, is we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self confidence and personal growth. So, this is basically the motto. This is the stage that we provide to you. Now, before we move any further, I would like to formally declare the meeting 257, Yin and Yang, the mindscapes of light and shadow, open. So, before we move further, we have a couple of announcements. So, the first announcement is let's all congratulate Toastmaster Mansi for completing her level 1. And the other announcement is the renewal season is now open. So all the members who are planning to renew, please contact either Toastmaster Aryan or myself. And now coming to the topic, yin and yang. So I don't know if the syllabus is still the same, but the first time I listened these two words together was in an English chapter. I'm not sure which class, maybe 11th or 12th. And it was about this Chinese painter who made a painting and then kind of just disappeared into the painting themselves. It was a very weird chapter. I only studied it because I had boards that year, so probably 10th or 12th, yeah, not sure. So I won't take much of your time. I would just hand over the mic to the TMoD for the day, Toastmaster Aryan. Now, Toastmaster Aryan is someone who believes he's Batman. Over to Toastmaster Aryan.
Right. So, good evening, everyone. Oh, good afternoon. Um, Now I'll be talking about yin and yang. This is a slight introduction about me, one line. I'm not much into, the fun topics area. So I make intellectual topics fun, right? So I'm gonna try and make this fun. So how many of you have heard about yin and yang? And how many of you know what it is? Okay. So essentially, it's a Chinese philosophy, right? It was given thousands of years ago. It essentially means that the good and bad, the doing and not doing, the being and not being, all of it go together. So the light part, you've all seen the logo of yin and yang, right? So the light part of the logo is yang. Yeah. The light part of the logo is yang, and the shadow part of it is yin. Now, the shadow part is basically the feminine part, and the light part is the masculine part. Just declaring this is not sexist, okay? Just putting out a claim there. This is only to differentiate between. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Back, acha. Huh. Okay, right. So, without further ado, so it is basically just differentiating the polar opposites of yin and yang by the words feminine and masculine. Now, if you look at the logo closely, the white part will have a black dot and the black part will have a white dot. Essentially, in semi-technical terms, each has a seed of one another. So they are not adversarial, they are complementary. One cannot exist without the other. When one dominates, when one increases in, let's say, magnitude or amount, whatever you want to interpret it as, the other will also dominate to equal proportions to maintain a balance, because you cannot have an imbalance. Now, this goes very deep, a lot deep than most of you can probably imagine. Before I explain how that is, how many first years are here? Okay, you all had a session called Empty Cup? Yeah. Now, in that empty cup, you must have been divided into teams and asked questions, right? You have to give the answer and they'll decide which team wins. When I had my empty cup, there was a question: who invented computers? Now, the answer to this is not, what you think, Alan Turing or Turing test and AI and whatnot. The answer was Aryabhatta. Why it was Aryabhatta was because he invented the number zero, right? So this was the answer. And ever since then, my faith in this course has gone down a little. Every day by day, it goes down. So yin and yang goes down to that level, whether it's binary, it's ones and zeros, whether it's good and bad, whether it is a boy and a girl. Every living entity has a yin and yang element to it, right? So before I proceed any further, I'll explain the rest of the topics as the meeting proceeds on. I would like to do some marketing about Toastmasters. Okay, so it was established on October 22nd, 1924, present in 144 countries. There are about over 280,000 members across 14,700 clubs. So it is a big platform. Utilize it. Whoever has joined, welcome. I'm also a new member. This is my second meeting as a member. So yeah, that was about Toastmasters. And now I would like to invite the general evaluation. Oh, also, before that, there are three segments in this meeting. There's a prepared speeches segment, there's a table topic segment, and there is an evaluation segment. So the evaluation segment will be explained a bit more in detail by the general evaluator, Pranav. The prepared speeches segment, we have two speakers today who will talk about a predetermined topic. And the table topic session is essentially just, for those of you who have attended, you would know, it is just volunteering to speak impromptu. You don't know what the questions will be. Whoever the table topic master is will have selected a couple of questions. So whoever wants to volunteer can. It's not compulsory, but it is recommended. That's what this platform is here for. So without further ado, I will call upon Pranav, who is our general evaluator for the day. Pranav says that he's so blue, he thinks it's reflecting his mood. So without further ado, Toastmaster Shivansh. Pranav, sorry.
Thank you so much, the Toastmaster of the day. Well, I am the general evaluator. You know, the general superintendent, the general this, the general that. Sounds like a very big word, isn't it? Well, basically, I'm going to be the dictator over here for today. If any of you make a slight error, slight mistake, I'm going to call you out, catch you by your neck and tell, bro, what's this? You did this. And you know, there's a quite nice phrase which says, no man rules alone. And here, I don't rule alone. I have three people who are going to help me with this. Technically, three more villains you can add to the list with me. That is the timer who's going to keep you on time so that you don't keep blabbering or we don't start this meeting more than 35 minutes late. Hint, hint, wink, wink. The counter who's going to be telling you if you're going on stage and there's being ooh, I don't know what to say. I'm stuck. Or basically, technically, you're not confident in what you're saying. That's the counter's role. And then we have the grammarian. Basically, to overuse an already overused term, the grammar Nazi. With all that being said, I have three people who are going to help me with these three roles. And they are sitting right in front of you here today. So whenever you come on stage, these three people are going to be here. So remember three things: time, the way you speak, and grammar. So without me budging more into their role, let them do the honors of telling how they are going to shoot at you or what bullets are they going to carry to come and shoot at you. With that being said, let me first call upon the timer for the day, Toastmaster Kanishka. She says that she's someone who has a deep passion for art and dance and also loves experimenting new recipes and cuisines. Okay, experimenting with cuisines. Great. I would like to try some of that. And she's also someone who's going to find a lot of interest and going to be immersed in finding some sort of novel, at least something which is which is somewhere related to crime or crime thrillers, basically. With that being said, the timer for the day, Toastmaster Kanishka.
Hi guys, Kanishka here, and as mentioned by Toastmaster Pranav, I'll be timer for today's meeting. And before explaining how the role of a timer works, I would like to tell a small story. Before coming here, I think all of us, of course, passed 11th and 12th, and we all sat preparing for JE, KSET, PESAT, and like even Amrita's exam, right? And my entire 11th and even half of 12th, all I did was procrastinate. All I did was, should I start physics today? Oh no, physics is hard. Let me start chemistry. But chemistry as organic, and organic, I'm really not good with it. I'm like, okay, let's go for math, but math, numbers, all three of them. All I did was procrastinate, and doing this, I am almost midway through my 12th grade, and now I get this realization. Acha, now I have to start studying. I have no choice. I have board exams in 3 months, and thinking all I basically I just procrastinated, wasted my time, did not think about the consequences, and now when I wanted my time to come back, I did not have it. I had to somehow do it, and I think that explains why I'm an Amrita, guys. Sorry. But yes, coming to the role, I'll make sure you guys stay on time with your speeches. So for the prepared speeches, it's 5 to 7 minutes with a 30 seconds buffer. And a table topic session is 1 to 2 minutes with 30 seconds buffer again. And evaluations 2 to 3 minutes with 30 seconds buffer again. And I'll be waving these three cards respectively when the time is up. And guys, red flag, I think we should run away when I see a red flag. Also, not exactly run away here, but yes, I think you should finish your speech within 30 seconds of me waving the red flag. And I think that's for it. Thank you.
Well, moving on to the counter for the day, Toastmaster Reha. Someone who introduces herself by saying she gets lost binge watching series and tends to lose track of time late into the night watching them. A fellow Potterhead, I can say, and someone whose dream destination is the King's Cross station in London, where she can soak in all the magic of Harry Potter. With that being said, the counter for the day.
Hello everyone. I am the accountant for today's session. I'll think of me as your friendly flavor detective. I'll be looking out for some little disturbances so we can all sound smoother and more confident. The purpose of our counter is to note words and sounds that are used pause filler by anyone who speak during the meeting. I'll be listen to the overused words like and, well, but, so, and I'll also listen for the filler words includes and I'll also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase such as I or this means. At the end of the meeting, I'll report the number of times the each speakers y- use the expressions. Thank you. Back to the general evaluator.
Moving on to the final person, that is the grammarian for the day. And well, our grammarian is so particular about grammar that instead of just giving me his intro, he gave me the whole quote how I'm going to introduce him. So let me read it out verbatim to you people. Let's introduce the grammarian for the day, Uttam. Let's say he loves this role to the core of his heart. Grammar is in his blood. Sometimes it may outflow or overflow. This is, well, he's quite a very friendly and approachable person. Let's invite him to introduce about his role. Well, this is what he wrote me, and this is what he wrote, and that's how I'm going to introduce him.
Okay, hello everyone. I was the grammarian for the previous meeting as well. So most of you might know me or may not know me. I'm Uttam. I'll be the grammarian for the day. So let me just brief out my role. So basically, the job of a grammarian is to note all the grammatical errors, punctuation errors, etc. So firstly, I would like to state one very important fact that is going to be usage of word of the day and idiom of the day. Basically, we have a few words that we utilize in our daily life, like suppose spill the beans, like to tell a secret. Similarly, we have the idiom of the day, and word of the day is like something that you learn. Let us say I say something like interpretation. You may not know that word, and you have learned it recently. So you can utilize it in your daily usage, and you can improve your grammar proficiency. So let us start with word of the day. It's harmonious, which means peaceful, calm, what you can say. Okay, I guess I can go with those two words. And then coming to the idiom of the day, strike a balance. Basically, most of us, coming to my example, I don't strike a balance with my work and other curricular activities at all. Literally, I literally have sweaty palms whenever I do a job. I'll be like, okay, should I do this thing? Okay, let me just keep that. We can use a word. What is that? Procrastination. I procrastinate a lot, just like the timer, Toastmaster Kanishka. So let me just come wrap up my speech. So basically, I have my eyes on you and your grammar that you use. Thank you.
With that being said, keeping time in mind, let me give it back to the Toastmaster of the day so that he can take forward this meeting. Back to Toastmaster Aaryan.
Right. So now next is the prepared speeches part. Who were there last meeting? Again, you might know what this is. Who were not there, a brief intro. So there will be two speakers joining us today and two speech evaluators, one for each of the speakers. So they will be speaking upon a predetermined topic and a pre-written speech. So the first speech evaluator that I would like to call on is Toastmaster Nikhilesh, who says that he's someone who prefers wooden benches over comfortable mattresses. So a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Nikhilesh.
Q. Where's my target speaker? Ah, but table topic session hasn't started yet. I am not giving icebreaker again, especially in this hall. Please. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, everyone. And a special good afternoon or good evening to my target speaker, Toastmaster Mansi. So Toastmaster Mansi as we all know, she just completed her level 1 and she is about to give her L2P1 today for the first time and hopefully the last time. Her pathway is visionary communication, and the objective and the purpose of the speech is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership style. The purpose of the speech is for you to share some aspect of your leadership style or talk about leadership styles in general. Right? And timer, please note the time limits are 5 to 7 minutes. And all the best to you. Back to the TMoD.
Right. Thank you, Nikhilesh. Now we have our first speaker of the day, Toastmaster Mansi. One disclaimer, I did not write this introduction, okay? I was given this introduction by one of her friends. So she is someone who identifies herself as short and stupid, yet surviving. Again, I did not write this. So her topic is chapter A Missing Bus. So huge round of applause for Toastmaster Mansi. Toastmaster Mansi, chapter Missing Bus, Toastmaster.
Right. I'm quite embarrassed by that, but okay. All right. So, how many of you love stories here? We all love, right? So, frankly, a majority of my personality is entirely based on stories, right from Panchatantra tales to Jataka tales to fairy tales to Vikram Betal stories to Ramayana, Mahabharata, you name it, I know it. Thanks to my mom for spending so much time searching for stories because I wouldn't sleep in the night without a new story. And that's gotten into such a habit that to this day I need something ringing in my ear in the background to put me to sleep. Now, why did I talk about stories? Now, obviously, because I said stories have such an uh, influence on me, to be honest. So when I read this analogy of saying life is a book and all the chapters in it are the stories of your life, as in the things you experience and the things you feel or the situations you go through, and all of these come together to make those tiny imperfect chapters that somehow come together to make a beautiful story, the book of your life, right? Now this is completely off topic, but I've always had this vision that if and when I have kids, I'm going to read all of these tiny chapters to them so that they get to know this more, is that if my mom was able to do it, then I can. Or if my mom did this wrong, then I will not do it. No, it's completely off topic, yeah. But it makes you kind of curious as to what those stories are, right? Like you want to know, you want to read those tiny secret pages of someone's diary. Come on, all of us do, right? Now, one such chapter from my book story of life, I call it, is chapter A Missing Bus. Now, this happened exactly a year ago. It was the first time I was traveling from Bangalore to Hyderabad. Now, this happened in my first year, and not it was the first time I was traveling without the help of any guardian. I didn't have my parents or my local guardian supporting me. It was just me. Now, to give our parents a little less stress than it already is, a couple of girls decided that if we are going to the same destination, might as well go together. Now, we all did everything right, from booking the bus tickets, sorry, from booking the bus tickets to getting our gate passes approved to packing our luggages to getting onto the auto and going to the stop. Everything was correct. In fact, we reached in time about 30 minutes before, and we were all hanging out and chilling. And the time ticks and ticks and ticks, and it's 7:30. Now we thought the bus didn't come, so we'll wait 2-3 minutes more and the bus might arrive. And we wait for 5 more minutes and the bus doesn't come. Now this is when one of the girl decides to call up the bus driver and she asks him, "Where are you, uncle?" And he's like, "I'm at the stop." And she's like, "I'm at the stop. I can't see you." Now, this to and fro happens for over 15 minutes, and that's when we realize that, oh, we're in the wrong stop. Now, after a big havoc, we decide that, oh, we're here, our stop is there, which means in Electronic City, we had to run for over a kilometer to reach that place. Now, with all that luggage, 10, it's foolish, yes, and I'm really embarrassed to say this, but we were running with the luggage at around 8 o'clock in the night on the streets of Bangalore, and we didn't know anyone, nor did we know the language. And we were all very scared because obviously we're going to miss the bus. And as we came closer to the bus just went away. It just it just vanished into thin air and started going. And the rest of the girls, a couple of girls in fact, they all started crying on the road. And I don't know why I was so insensitized with the entire situation. I was just like, oh, okay. And all of these girls start getting calls from their parents. Obviously, they're just as worried about their kids, right? And I get a call from my parents too. And I blatantly lie. I'm like, I'm in the bus, signal is not good. I'll call back later. Thank God my dad believed me then. And then this girl crying comes to me and she's like, can you please talk to the driver? I cannot talk. Now I talk to him and he's like, if you want to catch the bus, come to Majestic. Majestic is, I'm in Electronic City and there's Majestic. If there are any localites, calculate the distance and time. And I don't know what happened to me or what came over me that day, because most of the parents were just like, you know what, go back to hostel. It's past 8:30. It's not safe for you to go out. Just go back to hostels. We'll book something for you tomorrow and you can come back home. And through all of this, I was somehow able to push all of the girls by sharing their live locations and, controlling their emotions. I took that impulsive decision of going and catching the bus in Majestic. Now, as we entered the Majestic bus stop, thank God my lucky angels, because that day we were actually able to catch the bus. And I did this task of communicating with the rest of the parents and apologizing, because that was obviously a really rash decision. And my decision could have put 10 other girls' safety in jeopardy. But again, thanks to the lucky stars that did not happen. Now I again called my parents in Majestic and I'm like, yeah, I'm just chilling, and they're like, where are you? I'm just like, I'm standing out of the bus. And my parents were like, don't roam here and there, you'll miss the bus. I'm like, the irony. And I did go back home and tell the entire tale in detail to them. And that's when my mom goes like, you might have not done the right thing, but you were at least responsible when you did it. And when I did go through this entire chapter, when I reread those lines, it made me realize that maybe I am that sort of a person who's ready to take that risk. Maybe I am that sort of person that when in the nick of time, if I have to make a decision, maybe I am good enough to do that. Now, what makes a good leader is probably not what you are on the outside. Someone said leaders are not born, they're made. Through what? Characteristics like time management, team management, what other corporate words you want to add to it, you can. But is that all that it takes to be a leader? I don't think so. You know why? Because what is an egg without a yolk? What is a human without a heart? And what is a leader without qualities like compatibility, resilience, responsibility, and most importantly, accountability? Now, I felt in that very instant that I was capable of displaying all those emotions. And if life throws me any other situation like that in the further chapters, I know for a fact that I will do justice to all of those. So, thanks to all the stories, thanks to my mom for giving me those morals and values, because without which I wouldn't be the leader that I think I am today. And honestly, when it comes down to everything, I think a good leader is just a good person. That's all from my end. Back to the TMoD.
Right. That was an amazing speech. Thank you, Mansi, for that. Now, moving on to our second speaker. Before I introduce the speaker, the speech evaluator, the second speech evaluator. Now, that is Mr. Vamsi right there. So I asked him to send me an introduction. He has sent me a whole list of his achievements. So bear with me here. So he's from Nizampet Toastmasters, and he has acted as a judge for 450 plus contests, guided 200 plus Toastmasters, delivered 100 plus educational sessions, completed 4 paths, sponsored 3 clubs, mentored 2 clubs, and is coaching 1 club now. So without further ado, your speech evaluator, Mr. Vamsi.
Check, check. Am I clearly audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Thank you so much. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. My target speaker, Toastmaster Jasvitha, is going to deliver the speech Reflect on Your Path. To make it harmonious, let me read the purpose of this speech. The purpose of this project is to reflect on your growth during the completion of an entire path. To strike the balance, timer, kindly note the duration of the speech is 10 to 12 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Jasvitha. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Right. So our next speaker is a legend in the Toastmasters, Amrita. So she's finally a student trying to find balance amidst the chaos of the last few months of college. I wanted to be the last few months of college too, but I have 3 more years in this hell. So she has completed 5 levels, given various speeches, and even though formally she's not a mentor to most of us, but as a role model, of course, she is a mentor. So without further ado, Toastmaster Jasvitha. So Jasvitha, Master, Toastmaster.
06/08/2022. The first Toastmasters meeting as a guest. Cut. The first Toastmaster meeting as a member. The PO introduced me. Toastmaster Jasvitha, welcome to the club. Cut. VP Education came to me and said, Toastmaster Dinesh is assigned as your mentor. Cut. Toastmaster Dinesh called me and told, now you have to select your path. It has been too long in the club and it doesn't go without choosing a path. Cut. I took a quiz on the base camp. A lot of questions both on the quiz and in my mind. Which path should I take? Which path will continue with me for the next journey in here? I wanted engaging humor, but most of the people said my humor isn't engaging, it's death for our ears. So I thought, why take any risk? I'm going to follow my mentor. I took presentation mastery. Cut. My very first offline meeting. The TMoD introduced me. Toastmaster Jasvitha, icebreaker, Toastmaster Jasvitha. Everything was going in a normal speed until I was called onto the stage. Somehow the time was running in 0.2x and my heart was beating 2.5x louder. Thuk, thuk, thuk. I told myself, Toastmaster Jasvitha, didn't you choose this very precise moment to be on this particular stage? Didn't you choose to give your icebreaker? What is making you very anxious right now? What is public speaking? What is Toastmasters? What is TAB? And what is this path called presentation mastery? And why are you here? Just run. That's what I told myself. But let me give you a small brief about myself because not many know about me and I am Toastmaster Jasvitha. I have finished my 2 years anniversary with this particular club. And when I joined, I was very confident I know all about public speaking. This is just another club. I'm going to rule here. Until I went onto the stage and I started giving my icebreaker. Well, how many of you have already given a speech? Raise your hands. In your school, maybe in your college, in some society activity where your mom and dad throw you onto the stage. Yes? So for me, my very first speech was in my 3rd grade. In my 3rd grade, and the speech topic, guess. I think you can guess it really well. Anyone? Any guesses? Independence Day. So it was a small gated community, and my school was inside the community. So every mom had a competition between each other whose kid is going to give the best speech possible. And I had competition with another kid called Nagateja. And both of our parents wrote speeches with sophisticated words, handed it over to us, mugged. We were in the competition. And they told, you will cut my nose if you don't go and deliver it properly. So everything was set up. I had my speech, and we both were sitting, and our names were called one by another. So academically, let us judge both of our skills. Academically, I was brighter. I used to get first rank in school, and I was overconfident as well. So who should be winning right now? Any guesses? Well, so he went onto the stage and he was extraordinary. He went, he told everything, and it was my turn. Again, they called me. Anyone on this earth would know, okay, in India would know Independence Day is on 15th August 1947, right? But I went onto the stage and I forgot first Independence Day, and I forgot my name as well. Very good moment for me. So what I did, like a very good child, I took my paper and I read it. And I went home, and I was not ready to see my mother. And my mother said, it's okay. It's fine. But that fine had a tone and an undertone that made me feel like I have to try harder again. And I tried again and again. And after many debates, after many things, I was a very average or good public speaker. And I passed my school. I went to Narayana, no more public speaking, no more anything. And I came to college. And even in college, before Toastmasters, I have attended a few more events, just like you have attended induction. And again, this particular club I liked it very much, but my father told me it's just an expensive hobby. Because unlike you are here in an offline meeting. You know how I joined Toastmasters? I attended an online meeting with half bad internet connection. And I told myself, this is my type. I'm going to join. And I joined. And my father said, you're paying so much. Are you going to continue? And I said, you know me, I'm going to do it. Then I went onto the stage, and everything, every single thing revolved in my mind when I was going to give my icebreaker. And as expected, my icebreaker didn't go as well. Again, I forgot my name. Actually, I did. I forgot a lot of things about my very own life, how I have passed my 10th grade or 12th grade, a lot of details that didn't quite make any sense because I was back to the third grade kid forgetting about everything. What is public speaking right now? I thought public speaking is speaking in front of public. Isn't it? Isn't it the textbook definition? What else is there in public speaking? Rather than writing a script down, coming onto the stage and delivering it. So that's where my pathway came into picture, presentation mastery. Presentation mastery is one of the earliest paths. You have like 11 paths right now, but it's one of the paths which contains everything. Every path is designed for an individual, but when you take a presentation mastery as your path, it contains basically everything. So I have taken that. And my second speech, I told myself that this speech is going to be the speech where I prove myself on this very stage. I wrote a story because I am very good at telling stories. And I wrote a story. I came here and I gave my speech, and everyone said it was very great. And there was another guy who also gave a speech. It was about Hitler, and he also gave it really well. And I thought, I am definitely going to win in the voting. Voting results came, and he won. And I told myself, it's rigged. Toastmasters Amrita Bengaluru is rigged. They don't know my talent. I am done with this club. So then the recording was posted on YouTube. Then I wanted to know, why didn't I win? I went onto the stage and I told a story as if I was reading a textbook. There was a guy, he went onto the hill. Hill was long, hill was broad, had many steps. He died, he drowned. It had good content, but I didn't know how to deliver. Public speaking in front of public, but how to speak, I had no idea. That's when my L1 P3 came into picture. Body language and vocal modulation. What is vocal modulation? Anyone? Audible. I can be audible anyway, right? So matching your emotion, explaining the story, but I think that's content side. Let's talk about vocal modulation. Giving, yes, increasing the pitch. Exactly. So I can tell you the story of Bahubali, but make you asleep, even though you're listening for the very first time. Or I can tell you the story of an utter flop movie, but I can give you the elevation so that I can grab your attention at that point. So public speaking needs something else as well, right? Let me keep this in picture, vocal modulation. What else? Then came my L1 P3. Then I thought, I'm done with vocal modulation. Let me go onto the stage. I didn't win again. Why not? Apparently, I was giving my speech like this. I had no expressions. My hands were not moving. And you know how good a body language can elevate your speech, even though now I'm not that very good. But then if you do this, your attention moves. And there is a lot. So everything was going in picture. I used to take my time to write my scripts. And then came my L1 P4. It was not just a speech. Why wasn't it just a speech? Anyone who finished L1 here, right? So what do you need to do for L1 P4? You need to give evaluation. You need to evaluate a person. I am an introverted person who will go to a person and say, I don't know how to do short talk, right? So how to evaluate? And how to make another person not feel bad, because I really felt bad when people told me that your speech could have been better. So how to not make someone feel bad? Then at the same time, you know, the area director, she's from our club, Janani, Toastmaster Janani. She is an amazing evaluator. She was my co-evaluator. And instead of listening to someone's speech and writing it down and finding the points of improvement, I was listening to her giving the evaluation. And I completely forgot that I had to give an evaluation. And I came to the stage and I told, very good speech. Amazing speech. Oh my God, you blew my mind. And I thought, yes, I am done. The speaker is happy. I am happy. And general evaluator came into the picture and he said, Toastmaster Jasvitha, you're supposed to evaluate the speech, not be the anchor of next SIMA awards. So then I realized, okay, evaluation is maybe not for me. Then came my L2P1. Again, I had to work on my body language. I had to work on my evaluation. I had to work on my content. And importantly, I had to write my scripts. Because after L1, I thought I can go onto the stage without a script. Why a script? Then my first speech without a script, I went onto the stage and I was blabbering. I thought 6 months in Toastmasters without a speech, I gave so many table topics. Why can't I speak without a script? But then again the tables turn and I realized each point and each value of each and every level. And I have improved. To take the role of general evaluator, usually people take 3 months, 4 months. I've become a vice president. 2 months later, I took general evaluator. Again, I was a failure. I did not do well. But you know what? Consistency is the key. I know a lot of people would have told you consistency is the key. Practice makes a man perfect. Some person would have told, doesn't it make a woman perfect? Yes, it does. But then, yes, everything makes sense, even the humor or. And as the pathways progressed, each of the level in the pathway have taught me something or other. How to work on my pauses, how to work on my fillers, how to talk on the stage confidently, how to work with my mentor, and as well, this club is not just an expensive hobby, because I could have completed these courses in front of a wall or in front of audience that don't know me, but here people have always worked on making me better as well. So right now on this particular stage, I'm confident enough to speak with all of you. And that's because of Toastmasters Amrita Bengaluru. Thank you. And back to the TMoD.
Thank you for that wonderful speech. And now, blabbering time. My topic, 1.5 minutes, bear with me. Then it's the table topic session, right? So, first of all, I was talking about yin and yang, right? Duality in everything, two sides to everything. So there's two sides to a relationship. There's two sides to a problem. Don't even get me started on the relationships thing. I have, by this topic, you must have understood. How many of you have read my introduction, by the way, who are members? Has anyone read my introduction? I've mentioned something which says I'm a grandpa, right? At least my friends call me a grandpa. That is because of topics like these. And it doesn't help that I keep digging my own grave by doing stuff like this. So basically, I have a little old fashioned view about a lot of things. Relationships include one of them, Tinder, Fumble, Bumble, Grinder. I don't know what all apps are there nowadays. And what is it's like a syllabus, you know. In a relationship, you have to revise the syllabus and then go give the exam. You'll either pass, you'll either fail. But the whatever the outcome is, your energy is drained, boss. So now they're in a relationship also. The woman balances the man and vice versa. Because if the man is very aggressive, then you need someone to be able to tolerate that aggressiveness. You need a balance of humor, you need a balance of aggressiveness. Otherwise, you basically need a woman who understands your flaws, who knows your sense of humor, and who is, you know, willing to stick with you through thick and thin. Just make sure that these three women don't find out about each other. So basically, there's yin and yang in everything, in every living entity, in everything around you. There is a little element of yin, a little element of yang. Now, how many of you know, or at least have heard the names Michelangelo, not the Ninja Turtle, the artist? So Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Vincent van Gogh, they've painted some of the most beautiful masterpieces, right? You have Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. You have the Mona Lisa, the pale white lady in a black robe on the frame. Still don't know what she's doing there, but beautiful piece nonetheless. There's one thing common in all of these pieces. They were all painted in the Renaissance period in France. Political instability, societal upheaval. So this was the time, even though there is war, there is turmoil going on, it sparks a little creativity in human brains, right? So that creativity is what led them to create some of the most timeless masterpieces ever. They were created so long ago, but we still appreciate them. Any artist, whether you're a full-fledged artist or whether you're planning to be when you're in training, that is something, there's something you look up to. Those pieces are something you aspire to make, right? You want your name to be in the Hall of Fame. So before I continue with my topic, next is the table topic session. Like I said before, you can volunteer for it. The table topic master has a set of questions prepared. Our table topic master for today is Toastmaster Shivansh, who is a full-time or a part-time student and a full-time binger, like most of us here, or at least we want to be. So without further ado, over to Toastmaster Shivansh.
Good evening, everyone, again. So, before I call any volunteers, most of you who were hearing Toastmaster Mansi's speech, she told about how she wants to tell stories even to her children if she has any. And that is basically what we do here. But instead of telling about our life, you guys are supposed to tell a story, an incident, or just an explanation to anything what I have given you. It can be a question, a word, or a scenario that I paint in front of you. So why do we do this? Suppose you are late to a class, say by 10 minutes, and the professor asks, why are you late? You have a window of about 10 seconds where you have to think of an excuse that's viable, believable, and most importantly, does not involve another professor that professor knows. Otherwise, you'll get caught. So any of the guests who can volunteer or the new member, okay, what's your name? So Aditya will be volunteering. So Aditya, do you know the meaning of yin and yang? You've got something. So my question to you is, firstly, do you consider yourself to be more on the yin side or the yang side? To be the on the kind of peaceful side or the chaotic side? And if so, who do you consider is someone who perfectly balances you out? Are you okay with the question or should I change it? You're okay with it? Chalo. Best of luck. Yeah, you have 30 seconds time to think about it. Yeah. And then you can speak for it. You can speak for whatever time you like. 30 seconds you can take to think.
So, hello everyone. Good to see you again. It's the Toastmasters Club has been a lot nicer. I never want knew that some club could be like this, and I'm really enjoying my college. So, about the topic, I forgot which is yin and which is yang. So, I'll just say that I'm rather on a chaotic side. Not really peaceful. Because I procrastinate a lot. And to be honest, my work doesn't go as planned, but at the last moment, I can do. The thing is, and uh, about work and everything going on in life, uh, the main thing is I focus on the work which is going on. I am not a person who can pre plan. No, I actually pre plan, but the plan never works. So, and Bhaiya just asked me about the person I think who balances my life. And I would definitely say it's my mother. I share everything to my mother. Of course, not about relationships and so. But yeah, I share everything to her. And she is the one who supports me, who guides me through the like the worst parts of my life. And even in the best parts of my life, she is happy about it. You know, I can be open to my mother about everything and stuff, and rest of it, the life goes on. I made many friends here. Actually, I actually thought I was an introvert, but yeah, I just made so many friends here, and I'm enjoying this stuff. Um, so at last, I'm gonna say my life is going harmonious. So thank you.
Thank you, Aditya. Now, can I see any another hand? Okay, so I can see 4 hands. I know most of your names. So firstly, we'll go with, what's your name? Yeah, Rohan. Rohan, come to the stage, please. Okay. So Rohan, my question to you is, we've heard a lot about yin and yang. Now, yin basically means peace, kind of quietness. When you're stressed out or you have any tension or stress, what is the one thing that you'd like to do that takes you from out of the stressful position to a more peaceful mind? Do you understand the question? Do you want me to repeat it? You, all right, you have 30 seconds. To think.
Can I start? Oh, okay. Yeah. So, good evening, y'all. If y'all already haven't met me, I'm Rohan, quite new here. And my topic was about what I do to strive away from the chaos, basically. Well, my answer is to read books. Well, I'm going to talk about one book in particular because I am a crazy fan of it. It's called Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. It it transports me to another world. However stressful I am, all I have to do is read part one, Fellowship of the Ring. It's a tale of harmony where good and evil strike a perfect balance. People, thank you. Okay, and it's basically about a bunch of small creatures called hobbits who live carefree around the world. They have no care about what's going on. Meanwhile, an evil dark lord is amassing massive armies to destroy the world. While they were living in pure bliss the entire time, there were people protecting them from the outside, which they never got to know until sheer coincidence brought something called the Ring of Power into their lives, and they were forced to go on a massive journey that lasted over 2 years to destroy such said ring. Well, I really don't know how. I can't express it without y'all reading it, but it is the best stress buster. Now, on the other hand, while I should be always trying to relieve chaos in my life, I tend to do the opposite at times. Well, when I'm stressed, what I do, I go and open Valorant. It kills my mood for the rest of the day. I end up, I I shut down my laptop within half an hour. That's all I have to say about that. So, well, what I'm trying to say is, while you do have yang in your life, you will find your yin. Yeah, that's basically my outro. My outro. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohan. So next we have Yashas. Please come on the stage. Now this question is a bit off topic. So have you watched Charlie Chaplin? So not which, but one of wacky Charlie Chaplin scenarios, do you think you would be a better fit than him? Oh, okay, fair enough. All right, then. Toastmaster Aaryan is your teacher. You are the CR of the class. You have to convince him to postpone the quiz. You have 2 minutes to convince him to postpone the quiz.
Okay, okay, this one. So hi guys, my name is Yashas, and so I need to convince Aryan sir over here to postpone the quiz. So ma'am, yeah, okay, fine. Um, yeah, so yin and yang, right? So it basically talks about black and white. And it says there are two opposites, but I think we need to realize that it's not opposites exactly. It's more like, what do you say? Um, Complementary forces. Like, they have to act at the same time in the same body for it to be balanced. And everything is it always balanced in our life? No, it really isn't. So yeah, so let's say yin is more masculinity and like heaven, something harmonious. Meanwhile, white is more feminine and like it means the earth. But sometimes one takes over and the other one doesn't immediately balance it out. Like sometimes in our life, chaos or distractions take over, due to which sometimes we can't study for the quiz or something. Yeah, that's why. And the white doesn't always balance it out. So yeah, and even though they both exist in the same body at the same time for it to, be equal, but sometimes it's not always equal. And like, sometimes to balance it out, it takes a while. So I think if we postpone the quiz, then we can balance it out. Yeah, maintaining a 9.23 GPA isn't that easy. So yeah, that's why it will give us a while for the yin and yang in us to balance out. And yeah, I'm sure we can perform well in the quiz. Thank you.
So, Aryan ma'am, is it postponed? Cancel? Good. Next, we have Prakhar. It wasn't funny the So I asked Rohan about what activity kinds of bring him to the play. For you, what place? Everyone has a comfort place here. It can be the balcony of your home. It can be the washroom. It can be a park near your house, anything. For most of us, it's washroom, I guess. What is it for you? What is that one place where you just go sit and it somehow calms you? It doesn't need to be anything fancy or anything, but what is that one place for you just to calm yourself? You have 30 seconds, obviously.
Ready to begin. Ready. Should I begin?
You can begin whenever you want.
Okay, so good evening to all. Myself, Rakesh Srivastav. So this is my first time in Toastmasters. And again, yin yang, peace, and harmony. Our, our life can never be harmonious throughout. You will exceed in yang. The chaotic will overtake no matter what you do. So when chaos overcomes, be sure not to be consumed by it. This is something I've observed, like literally too much frustration. The person in front of you is shouting. You He's shouting for his reason, but you want to just go and shout on him. Why are you shouting? What is your problem? Why shout? Where's the balance, man? So I do this a lot. I want to go to him, start shouting at him, but I know I will get beaten up. That person is strong. You cannot just don't do it. How to find that balance? Where shall I make myself my again? Where does that peace lie? For me, it is nature or by my parents' side. So if you sit in nature, you can actually be yourself. The most important thing, quiet, that sound, wind blowing, everything, things going according to plan. No one is coming and staring at you. That wind, that air, it calms me. Balcony. And next, my parents. They would be minding their own business. Just go and sit by their side. You would be quiet. And if you are not quiet, they can look at you. They will help you strike that balance in you. They will bring it out no matter what. So if you have this chaotic chaos inside you, you are just ready to burst out. Burst out in nature. Nature will not strike you. It will not even care. So yes, that's where my stress busters. That's what I recommend to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakhar. Now we have Toastmaster Sanvi. Okay, Toastmaster Sanvi. So the question to you is, what is the time when you felt both your yin and yang were at their peak? And if you could also describe what led to it. Thank you. You understand the question?
I love organizing stuff. Like not organizing my room. No. That is a mess. Like my life. So not my room, not my life. I like organizing events, doing stuff like drawing, sketching, right? So first things first, I believe that never have I ever felt that my yin and yang have been at a balance. Like I do not know. For me, maybe the perception of this is different. For your yin and yang to be at balance, either you should be meditating, according to me, either you should be meditating or you are some yogi baba, according to me, or else I do not think you can have your yin and yang perfectly balanced throughout your day. See, I agree if you're sitting and meditating, you are in a peaceful state of mind. There's destruction happening in one corner, you are peaceful in the other corner. Everything happens that time, but not like this. So I can tell you moments where I have had my peaceful part and the exciting part and the happy part on the top. So there was this event that I organized, and we are supposed to do allotments to people in the event, random allotments, like somebody has to be doing something or they have to represent something. We had a juniors specific part in that organization. So in that junior specific part, I allotted people from the second PU. Okay, it is supposed to be a junior specific area with people from 8 to maximum 6 to 8th grade, and I have allotted second PU people in that committee. Like, wow, yay, let's go. So I get a call and they're like, Sanvi, what have you done? You're like, what have I done? I've done everything properly. He's like, just look at the allotments that you've done. There are second PU people in the juniors committee. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. So then I go there and we are like, basically, you know what? I had mentioned in the Instagram post and in the Google form that it is a juniors committee. And according to other organizations, I'm actually supposed to debar you from the awards. So you can just see what you want to do. Either I can shift you, you'll have a loss of 1 day's marks, or you can stay here and not get awards. So they are like, oh, okay, I'll just stay here. So when I was having that conversation, no, that was the point when I had my yin and yang at balance. I was being destructive, but I had peace in me because I have done it right. Whatever I had messed up, it is fine now. So this is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanvi. And now can I have another volunteer, please? Anyone? Okay, we've got wait. What's your name? I forgot. Yeah, Vamsi, please come on the stage. So Vamsi, my question for you is, do you believe a perfect balance between the yin and yang can ever be striked by you, not by anyone else, but by you? Over to you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Vamsi. So the topic I got, I'll just start again. Good evening, everyone. I'm Vamsi. The topic I got was, will you ever be able to find a balance between yin and yang in your life specifically? I believe that I did find it during 11th and 12th. 11th and 12th was the most chaotic period of my life for sure. There was so much to study, there was so much to do, there was a lot of work, but at the same time, it was really fun. People tell me that 11th and 12th is stressful. Sure it is. But I had so much fun with my school friends. Sadly, it'll be the last time, or I'll be meeting them surely, but it's the last time I spend with them for during school and stuff. So I enjoyed a lot with them. I did go out, and sure, I did fail in tests, and that's the negative part of it. But sure, that is the chaos.
I did find peace in my friends. I found peace in my preparation. But I also did find that it's very chaotic. Entrances are chaotic. Your marks are chaotic. And somehow it did get very messed up in the end. But soon enough, it did get over. And I'm here. Unfortunately or fortunately, that's to find out. But I'm here. So I do believe that you can find the peace because in light there exists darkness and in darkness there exists light, and there is obviously balance between them. That's what you should try to do. You should try to strike a balance between them, right? So I believe it is achievable, and I believe that you can have fun, you can have all the chaos in your life, but you should dial it back, right? Should be peaceful. You should have some time for yourself, should have some me time, should focus on yourself. This is yin and yang in my books. Thank you.
Thank you, Vamsi. Now I would like to call Neha upon the stage. So a lot of talk about today has been yin and yang and matching the balance and everything. So what do you believe yin and yang is? After listening to all this and whatever your preconceived notions were, what do you believe yin and yang is?
Hi, I'm Neha. Uh, I believe in yang, that's peace and hilarious. I always try to follow the brightness over the darkness, and I would like to stay positive all the time. I will make my friends to stay positive. Uh, and that's it. Thank you.
That will be all from my side. Back to the TMoD Toastmaster Aaryan. Take a 3 minute.
Right. So we're taking a short break for 3 minutes. You can use this time for networking and anything else. If you have any questions, you can approach any of us. So yeah. So we'll get started with this for 2 minutes. I'll continue the theme and then we'll get on with the evaluation segment. So there seems to be a little bit of a confusion as to, the logo and the whole philosophy of it, the root philosophy. Yang is the light side. Okay. Just remember this. Yang is light. Yin is the shadow or the dark side. Each have a seed of the other in them. Again, why? I've already explained. I will illustrate with a few examples. Hopefully you all will be able to relate. We have exams, right? We all have given exams at every point in our life. We are still in the process of giving exams. First years will have exams coming up. I have exams coming up. So yin is the stressful part of the exams where we want to do well. So the stress to do well is there in our mind. Yang is the part that allows us to transform that stress into a disciplinary routine, which allows us to achieve whatever we want to, whether that's your goal may be 8 CGPA, your goal may be 9 CGPA. If you're, very high aimer or a high achiever, you might want to top the class, if not in multiple subjects, at least in the one thing you're good at, right? Because everyone is good at something. Whether it takes time for you to find it, that is again up to you, because you have to go through a lot of trial and error phases. But everyone is good at something. So that part is your yang, where you transform the stress from wanting to do good to actually doing good. Again, even though you might have to go through certain failures and certain roadblocks along the way, the end is what really matters, right? Another thing is following your passion versus parents' expectations. We all wanted to be a certain profession when we were kids, astronauts or any fictional thing also. It can be anything. It can be as stupid as you want. I'm pretty sure all of us have imagined that. Now, wanting to actually be that, if it's a logical thing, not being a alien's friend or something, but if it's a logical thing like an astronaut, then maybe there might be instances where your parents are not supportive. So this reminds me of a quote. Your work, your job is not considered a job if you love it, because you don't want to wake up on a Monday morning saying, yeah, I have to go to the office, I have some work to do. You want to look forward to do that work, right? Because you willingly chose it, not because you were forced to or because it was the only thing left on the platter. So following your passion is the yang, and potentially in some cases your parents opposing you to go that route is the yin. So ultimately, again, there's a lot of complications which fall in the back end of that, but passion is the yang and parent suppression is the yin. May or may not happen. Now, social media, Lord save us all from that. So we have Instagram, we have Snapchat. I still don't get Snapchat. I'm so sorry. I have no idea what that app is for. So on Instagram, we DM so many people. We follow so many people. We view so many stories, so many posts, so many comments, likes, this and that. But there's one thing which most social media accounts do. That is portray a fake life. Whatever the person might be going through, absolute the worst of times, but all it requires is one, a fresh up refreshment, putting yourself in front of the camera or booking a taxi to the nearest pizza place. You go there, film yourself or take a photo of yourself eating whatever nice foods you have or anything expensive. You post it, boom, you have a great life in front of people. Half of them you don't even know, right? These celebrities, Cristiano Ronaldo and the Kardashians and whatnot, they have millions of followers. But how many of them do they actually know? I can guarantee you that it will not even be it'll be a max to max 1,000 people that they'll actually know. It's not humanly possible to cater to the needs of every follower or to know every person, because at that point, they don't become friends, they become acquaintances. I might know all of you by name, but how many people do I actually know? That is the tricky part. That is the actual part which proceeds into being called a friend and not just an acquaintance. So we might be going through some things, right? In life. I don't want to get into all those, but essentially we might be going through any rough patch. When we look at Instagram, we find all these people with this amazing life, flashy cars. This man just bought these great shoes, this great laptop, this great phone, or their relationship is going so well. And we were already down. Watching these things puts us in a psychological loop of death, which is very hard to get out of. That is the yin part. But the yang part is actually utilizing social media and using those emotions in a productive way. Not all of them. Not all of them can be used in a productive way, but the ones that can be will lead to you posting what you actually want to. Like, essentially, the page is a reflection of yourself, not the fake self, the real self. Right? What you enjoy seeing, not what you post for others' enjoyment and you actually hate your Instagram page. There might be some of us here who do that. I don't want to get into the specifics of that, but that is the yang part. Posting what we like, portraying ourselves as we like. There's no need to people please. As a person who has fallen into the trap of people pleasing, trust me on this. There is, whether you want to listen to me as a senior or a fellow Toastmaster, whatever it is, there is no point in people pleasing. Just please, as fast as possible, get out of that trap, right? So that's the yang part. And the yin part is, again, the emotions, the initial emotions which are there. Now, moving on to the evaluation segment, I call upon the general evaluator, Toastmaster Pranav.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Aaryan. Well, here I am back on stage after what has very evidently been a very long and very dragged out meeting, if I'm not wrong. So instead of wasting a lot of time, let's get into the evaluation segment of the day. Let's get into the nitty-gritties of it. So to evaluate our speaker number one, Toastmaster Mansi, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Nikhilesh, the speech evaluator number 1.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. A very good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. All right, all right, all right. Ready? All right, all right. What was speech? This thing title, by the way? I didn't get that. All right. Let's start with the positives. Yeah. Nice story. The story was wonderful, and you seem no, you were relaxed on the stage. You weren't scared. Of course, you've done with your 5 speeches and all of that. So by now you would have gotten used to the stage. And then your hand gestures, well, they were just perfect. Your hand gestures were perfect. Everything was on point. It didn't feel like you were forcing yourself to make sure you're doing hand gestures or movement on the stage. Everything was perfect regarding that, and story was good. Coming to I have some advice and a few things for you to work on. The story which you started with, wherein not the story where you missed the bus and the whole episode of you exhibiting your leadership skills happened, but the story where you tell, okay, my mom used to tell me stories, Panch Tantra and all of that. Although it is a good thing you're telling about yourself, but then it kind of seemed irrelevant to where you're heading. Of course, there might have been a reason to it why you added that part to your speech, to your script. But sometimes what the audience or especially evaluators can think is what they make of that extra episode is you're just trying to fill up some time before you get to the main part. That can be avoided a bit, and if that story can somehow be connected to the main agenda of your speech, then yes, that is very well, you can use it. And you seem to be okay, I did say you were relaxed on the stage, but then you seem to be you seem to be very relaxed on the stage. Now it's not a bad thing, but when you come onto the stage, there should be a bit of rigidness in terms of there should be some bit of seriousness. Of course, you seem to be very chill when you were trying to you give a chill message. Everything was chilled out. You were fine, comfortable with the audience, but it shouldn't feel like you're relaxed, very relaxed, and you're taking it casually. That casual attitude should not be visible. Apart from that, everything was fine. A bit of improvement, if I may, some things you can work on. Speak about the kind of, since your speech is talking about different styles of leadership and your style of leadership in general, of course, you did narrate a story where your kind of leadership is visible, but you have to talk more about leadership in specific, the kinds of leadership there are. Try to talk a bit more about them. It's not a hard and fast rule for you to talk about them. I'm really sorry. I think I'm gonna exceed my time limit with that. But then it's not necessary for you to talk about all this types of leaderships there are in in the Toastmasters website, which they say. But yes, you should identify one of them and inculcate that into your speech. And let's say, can you just name one type of leadership which was there on this thing? You told me one. All right, you're not able to recollect. It's all right. It's been a long time since I gave that speech, but you should know. Anyway, that you can just say, okay, this is this assertive. Okay, let's say, okay, if your story yours wasn't an assertive leadership style, but you can say, okay, if it was assertive, you could say, so this way I was an assertive leader, and talk a bit more about assertive leadership. That's about it. And to summarize your speech, your script, overall, it was a fantastic speech. The audience seemed to love it, especially the fact that you took up the responsibility, took up the stage. It showed that you have the fervor of a leader. But then talking about time management, it kind of contradicted with where you were going with. So yeah, just a few things here and there. And apart from that, it was a wonderful speech. And congratulations from my side. You don't have to give a speech again. And yeah, so that's about it. Back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nikhilesh, for what seems to be a very breezy evaluation through the same. Coming to you first, you introduce the speech and its objectives clearly to the speaker. You also mentioned the time limiter. Now, well, adding to a few points which Toastmaster Nikhilesh said. Our first speaker, Toastmaster Mansi, was very relaxed on the stage. She was very casually, comfortably moving around. Well, that kind of distracts people. It feels that you're thinking of topics on spot, right? Because I'm working like this. I'm like, yeah, hello, people. How are you? I'm here on a very breezy day talking. That's not what your speech is supposed to be about, right? But then you can move on the stage using an example from your own speech. We were standing in Electronic City, but then we had to go all the way to Majestic, which is this far away. Your moment has some purpose. This is one. Two, I guess when all of you start giving speeches, level 1 P2 speech will be giving a speech with a purpose. So all your speeches should be aligned to a particular purpose, which in this case was identifying your own style of leadership. Toastmaster Mansi today identified her style of leadership, but in a way which I don't think everybody understood. Like all of you, including me, we got how she behaves, how she is as a leader, but we couldn't quantify it. Is she someone who's very impulsive in taking a decision? Is she rash? Or is she someone who thinks about all the points of view and then takes a very optimistic decision? I guess this could have been better addressed. With that being said, it was a great story which I genuinely admired and enjoyed, because I've been in a stage where I've missed a bus myself with a few friends. So not that I could not relate. A few challenges which I would like to throw to Toastmaster Mansi will be: one, when you're talking about friends, why don't you give them names? Hina, Meena, Sheena, Tina. More relatable for everyone. Give those characters a bit more personality, a bit more person. With that being said, I guess that's all. Toastmaster Nikhilesh, a crisp, very breezy evaluation. I guess you could have thrown a bit more challenges, been a bit more critical, but then I guess that's your style of evaluation. So that being said, let me call upon our second evaluator for the day, distinguished Toastmaster Vamsi, to evaluate Toastmaster Jasvitha's speech. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Can you confirm I am audible?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Thank you so much. First of all, kudos to you, Toastmaster Jasvitha, for excellently executing your path completion speech. Well, I'm not going with the CRC and other kind of approaches. I will go with my approach. I can't see timer card, but let it be, because I want to give whatever the thoughts I have, because it is the final speech. Considering the start, it was quite good. I really liked how you started the speech. You made particular interactions mean here and there, and these kind of things will create an atmosphere to the audience, exactly what a final speech would be. Fabulous job over there. Kudos to you. What I really liked is you have a lot of content. There were a lot of stories, one after other, like small episodes of here and there, bits and pieces. And you did a fabulous narration. Kudos to you on that as well. Well, since it is the final one, I'm going a bit more on the focusing on the improvement part. I would like to hear more regarding the learnings from especially this path. Like, I want to know what is Toastmaster Jasvitha before and after the path. That would create an enthusiasm to take this particular path. Every path has an essence of learning, and I want to know what kind of learning Jasvitha got from this path and how she is before this path and after this path. You have explained multiple stories, like how you joined, the discussion between your father and the general evaluator role. These are all good. Maybe I would say how to speak professionally, a 21-minute speech, or maybe the question and answer one, the 18-minute speech. So in those kind of aspects, it would be quite viable. But when I see at this point of time, I would think, see, you explained level 1 and level 2, like what is level 1, how it went, your story. Rather than I want to listen level 4 and 5, which are quite challenges for you. Every path level 1 is common. Then what is that specialty in this path that made you change? That happens at level 4 and 5. So I want to know more about that story rather than the origins. And there were too many cuts in the narration, I would say. When you're going with something like that, you can start the speech like lights, camera, action, and make it like a movie kind of a thing. Scene number 1, a discussion with my father and me. And you can role play it like two people. Your father saying, "It's a waste of time, don't do it." And you're telling, "No, father, it is quite useful. Toastmasters is great." So you can enact. So in that way, you can create a huge difference of playing two different characters. To summarize, I would say there is a lot of content in your speech. Segregate it with not bits and pieces of small stories, but rather than a combination of big stories like two or three, and then with a bit of transition in between, you could be the finest speaker this club can see. Thank you for the opportunity. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Vamsi. Well, that was a very crisp and clear evaluation. And you, sir, have given the objectives of the speech and have laid out the time for the same. So kudos to that. Now, coming to a speaker that is Toastmaster Jasvitha. Well, I don't think I'll be able to give a more succinct evaluation than what the distinguished Toastmaster Vamsi has given. But one point which I'd like to add is saying that I guess you were very comfortable again on the stage, like very relaxed, very calm. Your movements again didn't felt very breezy, felt like you're on a walk. Because I guess that's how comfortable you have grown with the stage over the duration you have been in the Toastmaster and over the duration that you have been through levels. So I guess you can be a bit more mindful of your stage presence and your stage usage. With that being said, well, that concludes an evaluation for all our speakers. And I guess all of them have done a great job today. Now moving on to my three people. We're going to give you three specific aspects of evaluations. That is the timer, our counter, and grammarian. Now, well, let me start by calling over our grammarian for the day, Toastmaster Uttam, to give us a very succinct evaluation.
Okay, I'm really surprised. Most of you have utilized many good usages and the idiom of the word as well as the word of the day. So let us start with the good usages. There are many words. These might seem similar to you or like, okay, this is a simple word. What is there in this? But however, they were very, you can say, impromptu and they were to the point, concise. So they include analogy, nuance, jeopardy, resilience. Then we have duality, liable, and most of you have utilized this word called chaos. That is a good word when you're going in contrast to yin and yang. Then we have bliss, sheer, stress buster, commonly used word, perception, chaotic, and now coming to the idioms that I love the most. There were three main idioms. In a nick of time, keep digging my own grave, and last one, which was used by Rohan, I guess. Rohan. So it was yin and yang in my books. That's a really good usage. Let's have a cheer for him. And one last thing, like still I have a lot to say, but I'll try to keep it crisp and concise. I forgot to mention the fact that whenever someone uses the word of the day or the idiom of the day, you're supposed to show a thumbs up. Can I get a thumbs up so that you know how you're supposed to do it? Okay, wonderful. And I would like to go over a few minor corrections that some of you have made. That is the usage of a few nouns. You are confusing some of the subjects and the objects. So suppose if you're having I, some people have utilized I for it. And then we are having verbs which are like just randomly, you can say conclusive. So like suppose we are having I will eat. That's it. You're not supposed to like stop the sentence there itself. You're supposed to conclude the sentence, specify what you're eating and all. Then we are having, most of you broke the sentences into pieces. I would like to encourage you to try to connect them using connectors like conjunctions, etc. Then mostly I would like to say there were a lot of creativity and etc. And let's not go with etc. There were a lot of good speeches. Everyone did their best. Although they were short and concise, you were brave enough to come onto this dais and give your speech. So with that, I would like to say most of you have utilized the word of the day and idiom of the day. Congrats and kudos to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our grammarian, for the meeting and the previous meeting, if I may add. Now, moving on to the next role, next person who's going to come over on stage. That is the R counter for the day, Toastmaster Reha. Can we have a huge round of applause for her, please?
It was very hard to find the and the, so Toastmaster Mansi used to guest Aditya's pet phrase was, you know. Rohan used well, basically, and an Yashas' pet phrase was so. Sanvi's pet phrase was so. Vamsi's pet phrase was so. Neha's pet phrase was ah. I would like to give a suggestion. Practice slowly and clearly. Try to replace these fillers with thoughtful pauses. Thank you for the opportunity to serve as an accountant for today's session. I hope my observation have been helpful. Thank you. Back.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Reha. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's my mom calling me twice, so I'll have to rush this up. Well, okay. Toastmaster Reha, have heard the accountants use favorite word, cute word, pet word, something which I'm getting for the first time. So that's a nice way to say the most used word or the most commonly used word for a person. Good job at that. And you have also noted down every speaker who has come on stage and everyone who has spoken and the words which they've used the maximum. So great job at that. Now coming to the role which requires me and requires all of us to be on time, and which we are running short of the timer. Toastmaster Kanishka, please. The stage is all yours.
Hi again, guys. So, just like striking a balance, like yin and yang, I think time management is one of the important aspects that we must follow, and not must, but I think it's important enough to know how to manage your time. And most of you have followed the time properly. And my friends call me a perfectionist for some reason. Even during the break, I'm like, 3 minutes are up, and they're like, give 2 minutes more. I'm like, okay. So coming to the timings you utilized, Toastmaster Mansi took 7 minutes 39 seconds. Toastmaster Jasvitha took 12 minutes 45 seconds. Aditya took 2 minutes 2 seconds. Rohan took 1 minute 57 seconds. Yashas took 1 minute 35 seconds. Prakhar took 1 minute 55 seconds. Toastmaster Sanvi took 2 minutes 46 seconds. Vamsi took 1 minute 45 seconds. And Neha took 20 seconds. In the evaluations, Toastmaster Nikhilesh took 4 minutes 26 seconds. Toastmaster Vamsi took 3 minutes 25 seconds. And I think most of you kept up with the time, and good job, guys. I think that's it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kanishka. A great job as the timer. Well, when everyone's speaking, someone has to be looking down at the time, taking the cards up. We thank you for doing that, and thank you for being the person who's being the most active, raising their hands for the day. Well, with that being said, let's come on to a very general evaluation, or AKA my opportunity to call out things which may be nitpicks, may be big problems. One, we started the meeting 35 minutes late. As I am always quoted saying, Indian Standard Time maybe GMT plus 5:30. We started at GMT plus 6. Well, we got beyond that. So maybe we should stick to not having a 35-minute delay. The second thing is, well, the presiding officer for the meeting was not decided till maybe the meeting started. But after the SA started the meeting, and it was a dilly-dally between who wants to take up the role. So probably roles and the person who's going to start the meeting should be very clear before the meeting starts. A small nitpick that it's been very common that we do not follow the rules very strictly, where people just walk in, walk out, leave in whenever they want. It's only technically be done only during an applause, but having like allowing it during certain times doesn't mean we make it a very free-flowing river where people can walk in and walk out whenever they want. So we should be a bit more mindful. And then basically coming to the Toastmasters of the day and the whole theme, yin and yang, something which is somewhere or the other affecting all of us, even if we don't know, was a theme which I don't know if everyone resonated to do, but I resonated with, I liked. And you explained it in a way which was very easily understandable for people. You can maybe throw a few more examples, few more what do you call, way people can get related to it. If you didn't know, yin and yang is basically, how many of you don't know, how many of you haven't seen the yin and yang symbol? That is basically half of a white circle, half of a yellow circle, a small white in the yellow, no, sorry, black and white, a small black circle in the white, and a small, what do you call, white in the black, the circle with two parts. That is basically yin and yang. So maybe we could have arranged it to be put up on the screen so that people could relate the emoji or the symbol which people have been seeing throughout their lives, or maybe across social media, is what yin and yang is. And that way the theme could have been more easily, let's say, put across for everyone and could have been made easier for everyone. The voting forms is out. So I'll ask you all to go and vote ahead with vote for the same. I've included a small field because today's meeting being a little long and a little more tiring, on how things can be improved further. It's not required, and your email IDs are obviously not taken. So feel free to go ahead and give your feedback on it or not. That's your choice. Have you got the link to vote? Have you got the link to vote? You guys got, no? Just refresh once. Anyone who's not there in the group or would not have received the link, please. Is anyone like that? None. Okay, great. Thank you.
Please state your name and your experience with the meeting.
Oh, I'm supposed to say something.
You only.
Oh, like it was nice.
Name.
Oh, your name. I forgot my name, right? Madhu Gampa.
How did you post?
Huh?
Same question.
My name is Siddharth. I think the experience was pretty similar to the last meeting.
My name is Ashishvi and the meeting is fine. Good.
My name is Mithun. I felt it very, what to say, very exciting to be here.
My name is Manas. It was good, not bad.
My name is Sarshit. This is my first time in Toastmasters. It was a really different experience.
My name is Jia. I found it very interesting, interactive, and relatable today being here. I wanted to go up on stage a little bit, maybe next time.
I'm Aditya. I came here for like the last 3 sessions. I enjoyed.
I am Pooja. This is my first time here, and it was a really nice interactive session.
Bhavagna, the session is really good.
I am Prakhar. This is my first session. I find it really interesting and enjoyable.
Sup, Rohan. Great session. Hi, this is Chirayu, and it was a good session. Oh my god.
Hi, my name is Yashas, and I definitely enjoyed this session. It was really fun.
Hi, this is Vamsi. The session was really good. I'd like to be there for the next one too.
Hi, this is Kushala, and I felt really great to have me in the session.
Hello, I'm Neha. I felt a bit nervous on the stage, but it's okay.
Hi, I'm Benita. Yeah, it was quite interesting. Got to know a lot about Yin and Yang that I will probably remember for a while.
The link has been reshared. Just check if everyone got the link, and if anyone didn't, just raise your hand. We'll come to you.
वाले ग्रुप में है क्या? डाल दिया, अभी आया होगा.
बैक टू टीएम मेरे को देगा वापस. बैक टू टीएमओडी कर, फिर वो मेरे को दे देगा और जल्दी से.
बैक टू टीमोड बोल दिया मैंने. बोल दिया ना मैंने बैक.
मैंने टीएमओडी कर दिया.
हाँ.
टीएमओडी conclude and give it to me.
Right. So to conclude this, 2 minutes I'll take. It was supposed to be 5. We're running short of time. I know most of us want to get out of here. So a quick feedback. I know he went to everyone and asked for personalized feedback. This is not the kind of topic, which is generally talked about, because it's not all fun. It is intellectual. You have to think about it. It's not just, not all aspects of it are fun. So in case you liked it, thank you very much. In case you didn't, I'll just stop there. So I don't have anything else to say for people who don't like it. So yeah. So basically, one example I'd like to provide for anyone who is not yet clear with it. Can anyone imagine how to apply that concept to this? It'll take about 30 seconds. If any one of you can try and apply the concept of yin and yang to this, just imagine this is empty. Doesn't matter if it's wrong. It absolutely does not matter. You want to try?
Mostly, I think I will go a bit towards the academic part of it. So most of you know physics, right? There's this thing called couple. Two forces which you need to open the bottle cap. So you need to push one of your finger, like slide one of your finger forward, as well as move one of your finger backward. You're supposed to balance both of them. This is where I think I found my yin and yang.
Okay, so I got 2 things from that. The first is, if I need physics advice, I'm going to you. Okay. The second is, that was the most innovative idea I've heard with respect to that. That was also the only idea I've heard with respect to that, but it was innovative. And I think not many people will be able to come up with that prospect of it. Now, what solution I had in mind, it's not a solution, but the idea that I had in mind, yin is emptiness, right? The negative area, whatever you want to call it, anything you want to associate with it. Yin is the empty space inside. Our universe, empty space. There's star systems in it. To fill water into that bottle, you need empty space. You can't fill water into a already full bottle. Our universe will not function. This is deviating from the bottle topic, but just to explain it in a better way, our universe would not function properly if it did not have empty space. It is infinitely expanding, which you would love, right? Physics part. So also a flower, when a bee goes to a flower to pollinate it, the flower is the yin part. The flower does not do anything. The only duty of the flower is to give the pollen. It doesn't even give the pollen, the bee extracts it. So the bee is the yang element and the flower is the yin element, but the bee also has yin and yang in it. So you can apply this to anything. There are people, I'm sure, who will have far greater and eclectic imaginations than me. You can apply it to that. Other than that, I will conclude on this. Thank you so much to the evaluators, to the tag team. I was the timer last time. You did a much better job. So thank you to all of you who came. I know this is a slight different topic to what you're used to, people who have attended the meetings before. But yeah, you'll see a lot more of me. And yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Aryan. So I'd straight away go to the announcement of the winners. So firstly, we'll start with best of tag team. And that goes to the timer, Toastmaster Kanishka. Next up, we have best of the table topic speaker. And that goes to Toastmaster Sanvi. Next, we have best of the evaluator, best of speech evaluator, and that goes to Toastmaster Nikhilesh. Next up, we have the best of Big Four, and you know what? Take a guess. Take a guess for the Big Four. Obviously. Yeah, you. It was a great session. And finally, best of the prepared speeches. It's Jasvitha, Toastmaster Jasvitha. So that would be all from our side, and I would like to declare the meeting 259 theme thin and yin and yang closed. The session is now open for networking, but before that, we would like everyone to come to the stage for a group photo.